back to another episode of the Empower Her talk show with your host, Coach Salita. I hope you guys are having a great week. Already, you guys, can you believe we're almost finished with this week? Yeah, we are almost finished with this week. It's just amazing how everything is happening so fast. We're already ready for mid-month. Well, I want to first thank you guys from AOC for giving me this opportunity, LUS, Cox Cable, for this opportunity to bring you guys great information. I don't know if you guys will have had an opportunity to watch our other show I did, Universal Collective Network show I did in the studio, which was fun because I got an opportunity to hang out with one of my favorite people, which is Leroy Vallo. You know him as Brother Jay. That's a very great producer and director, and he does great work over there at AOC. I want to thank you guys for that day. That was wonderful. That was last Saturday, I think. But really enjoyed it, and I hope the information that we shared, that's like the political side of me. Okay, so I'm very passionate. Being an activist, I am very passionate about the work that I do, and then coming over here in this nice setting where it's nice and calm and I can ask all the questions and I can just relax and enjoy being able to bring you guys information. Today we have a wonderful guest. We have MJA Investigations, which I had a wonderful opportunity to meet a while back. It's been a while, with one of his investigations that he was doing, a case that he was working on. I met him through another person that he was actually working on their case, and we were helping on our end by getting all the information out. And I'm really, look, I am a sleuth. I love thrillers. I love mysteries. I love solving things. And plus, I do have a little background in investigation. And my other podcast, I actually do a lot of research and investigation on my other podcast. So yeah, so I get the opportunity to hang out with Mr. I'm gonna call him Mr. MJ, um, Investigations. Mr. MJ, um, so introduce yourself to our listening audience and kind of tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we can get into all the cases that you've had an opportunity to work on.
Okay, my name is Mark Harper, and I'm one of the founding three partners of MJA Inc. Investigations. We have 45 staff members at this time. We're working on 113 cases covering 17 states, and we just do anything we can to help out families in need. If it happens to be court papers we need filed, ground searches, water searches, anything we can do to help bring a case to a resolution.
All right. So kind of get into now what made you get into this? What got you to want to get into this?
Well, all off and on, I've been an investigator or what you call an undercover agent, starting with the U.S. government, and it just graduated from there. And then the reason our company was founded, we had a family member that was murdered, and there was a few months where we didn't know if there was going to be a conviction,
Mm-hmm.
and so we understand a little about what these families go through
Mm-hmm.
because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now how long now you've been doing this work?
Well, okay, me, I've been doing it for 44 plus years. As far as the company, we've been at it 23 years, and June 1st of 2025, it'll be 24 years.
Wow, that is a long time. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's start from the cases that you're working on now and the ones that you kind of go backwards with your timeline.
Okay. Okay, this is an update on the mysterious death of Marcus Merritt Sr.
Okay.
On January 4th, 2013, Marcus Merritt Sr., a black male, was found deceased in his home in Leonville, Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
located in St. Landry Parish. That death was ruled a suicide. Mr. Merritt was taken directly to the funeral home with no autopsy being done or the proper collection of what could be evidence in the death room.
Mm-hmm.
MJA became involved in the case on March 14th, 2014, working on behalf of our client, Royce Eckley, who is Mr. Merritt's mother. In May 2016, the Louisiana State Police opened up an investigation into the death of Marcus Merritt Sr. This was due to the pressure from MJA and Together We Stand and its request for case documents since it was ruled a suicide. On June 2nd, 2016, the body of Marcus Merritt was exhumed and a third-rate autopsy was conducted. In December 2016, MJA received a flash drive of the investigation into the death of Marcus Merritt Sr. by the Louisiana State Police. MJA has 2 videos of the so-called autopsy done by the state of Louisiana, and that's why we know it was a third-rate autopsy and that they skipped some standard protocols. The 2 autopsy videos were very poor quality, with the video camera being in the corner in return. You can't see what the medical examiner is doing to the body. There is no audio of the autopsy on what was being done to the body. MJA has 2 videos of the estranged wife taking 2 polygraph tests. Both tests were ruled inconclusive on the most 3 important questions. The tox screen on Mr. Merritt 3 years after his death showed chemicals that are byproducts of household cleaning products not caused by embalming fluids.
Wow.
Also found in Mr. Merritt's liver tissue was 400 nanograms of fentanyl 3 years after his death. Mr. Merritt didn't use drugs. All medication bottles found at the scene belonged to his estranged wife. After analyzing the death room photos, a mechanical engineer reconstructed the death room and proved the body had been staged, which is very clear because of the blood evidence. This report was published by the media. It's MJA and other experts that states the evidence on the flash drive spells homicide, but law enforcement can't prove it. At this time, we are still fighting to get the content of text messages from Mr. Merritt and his estranged wife on the day of Mr. Merritt's death. We know from the flash drive that the Louisiana State Police has the content of the messages from the search warrant, but they still refuse to release the text messages. It's the last thing we need, and by law, MJA and our client has the right to have those documents. Now, remember, Mr. Merritt's death happened in St. Landry Parish. Well, here's another case in St. Landry Parish that is a mere copy of Mr. Merritt's death. On June 9th, 2021, Jason Couse, a white male, was found deceased in his home in Appaloosa, Louisiana, located in St. Landry Parish, which he shared with his girlfriend and their children. Jason Couse's death was ruled a suicide. Mr. Couse was taken directly to the funeral home with no autopsy being done or the proper collection of what could be evidence in the death room. People at the location at the time of Mr. Couse's death were not officially interviewed by law enforcement. MJA has body cam footage from several police officers that were on the scene, and there is evidence that it wasn't a suicide. The position of the body was all wrong and was in a position that would be impossible if you put a gun in your mouth and pulled the trigger. There is no body cam footage of the victim's whole body and no footage of the gunshot wound. Also, you can clearly hear on the body cam footage several officers asking where the death gun was. You can see the officers searching for the gun, but you don't see any footage of the gun being recovered or where it was found. The photos of the scene are of very poor quality that you clearly can't see the blood spatter in the room. There are no photos of the victim's head where the gunshot was inflicted. Still no photos of the death gun. We also have conflicting reports about what type of firearm was used to cause the death of Mr. Couse. St. Landry Parish has a pattern of not doing autopsies. This needs to stop.
Wow.
On June 13th, 1965, being 34 months old, Elizabeth Ann Gill was abducted from her home in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. At this time, all evidence that points that Beth Ann was abducted by a group of gypsies who were staying at a motel that was 50 feet from the Gills' backyard. There was a bolo put out on persons and vehicles that were connected to staying at the motel. The Chicago Police Department conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle from that bolo. There is no follow-up report on what happened during that traffic stop and why the persons and the vehicles were let go. MJ believes this could have been the abductions of Elizabeth Ann Gill, and we have always questioned, how did Chicago law enforcement ID a small child during a traffic stop in June of 1965?
Mm-hmm.
All info from interviews and research points that Elizabeth Ann Gill is still alive, and with being abducted at such a young age, we truly don't know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, the Gill family and MJA are pulling the resources that we hope to generate a $50,000 reward for info leading to Elizabeth Ann Gill. There will be no questions asked, and your identity will be protected by law.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
On February 9th, 2004, a UMass Amherst student, 22-year-old Laura Murray, white female, went missing after a one-car accident on New Hampshire State Highway 112 heading east outside of Woodsville, New Hampshire. Miss Murray disappeared before first responders had arrived. Just recently, MJA has gained first-hand info on the location to search for Miss Murray, and that's connected to one of our suspects. This info has been turned over to the Murray family and to Nancy Corey of Boots on the Ground, who has conducted several searches for Miss Murray. At this time, we're looking at satellite photos of the area, and we hope to have staff members on location to take photos real soon. MJA got involved in this case in November 2005. On March 19th, 2004, 17-year-old Brianna Maitland, a white female, disappeared after leaving work at around 11:20 p.m. from the Black Lantern Inn, which is in Montgomery, Vermont. On March 20th, 2004, in the early morning hours, Miss Maitland's vehicle was found rammed in reverse into an abandoned house, which was 1.3 miles from her workplace located on Vermont State Highway 118. This is on the route she would use to go home. There has been multiple searches for Miss Maitland, beginning with the Klaus kids on April 3rd, 2004, and MJA was on location. MJA took on the case on April 10th, 2004. There has been no evidence recovered in the searches connected to the Maitland case. There are many who want to say the Murray and Maitland cases are not related. But that could be true, but let's point out some facts concerning both cases. Miss Murray went missing on February 9, 2004. Miss Maitland went missing on March 19, 2004. That's 38 days apart. Woodsville, New Hampshire is around 81 miles from Montgomery, Vermont, an hour and 33 minutes away. Both cases involve a one-car accident. Both disappearances happened in an isolated area. Murray and Maitland were very athletic, with Miss Murray holding high school state track records and Miss Maitland having several black belts in the martial arts. In both cases, nothing has been recovered connected to the cases. My question, are we to believe that there were two killers in a 38-day period within a 81-mile radius of each other? Just think about it.
Mm.
We are not now making another major push to law enforcement concerning 1980s convicted child serial killer David E. Fenton.
Mm-hmm.
MJA got involved in November 2003 concerning the October 5th, 1986 abduction of 6-year-old Shannon Sherrill from Thorntown, Indiana, which was And with some 3 years later, it led to convicted 1980s child serial killer David E. Fenton. An inmate informant, he was a cellmate of Fenton for 5 years, gave info against Fenton to Charlotte. Can we pause? I got somebody knocking.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
I'm on an interview. All right. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay. Now, can we pick up now?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't even pause it. I just go ahead. You're good.
Oh, okay. And Ohio inmate informant, who was a cellmate of Fenton for 5 years, gave info against Fenton to Garland, Texas detective Gary Sweet that led to 3 convictions in Texas. The Ohio inmate informant info led to 33 case files that Detective Sweet put together that could be connected to Fenton. This Ohio inmate informant would later share this info with MJA. I interviewed the Ohio inmate informant several times, starting in June 2006 and ending in 2013. Detective Sweet and MJA have worked together on these case files, which led us to believe that we have identified some of Fenton's victims. This led to the story. Did a serial killer take Niecy Johnson? Just Google it. Did a serial killer take Niecy Johnson? And you'll see Detective Sweet and MJA's work. Detective Sweet is now retired.
Mm-hmm.
But MJA is still in contact with 17 states that can have unsolved cases where the number one suspect is Fenton.
Mm-hmm.
Fenton just hit 68 years old, so it's time for these states to step up their investigations into Fenton. Since 2006, the investigation into child serial killer David E. Fenton has been an uphill battle, trying to place him in locations in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Law enforcement has to dig deeper. And that's all my notes on the most active cases that we are working on at this time.
Wow. Wow. You got your hands full. So, how many states have you already had an opportunity to investigate in?
Oh, we go to 17 different states.
Oh, 17. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, okay. So, in those 17 different states that you've already started your cases in, is there more than one or two cases that you're particularly working in, or you're trying, I don't want to say add to the load that you already, the cases that you already have, but are there still people coming to you in those 17 states kind of?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, and also in a lot of states that we already travel to, we take on a lot of the other cases from those states. Matter of fact, we just picked up 2 cases in Missouri because of our work on the 1965 abduction. And yeah, we get offers, and also if there's states that we can't travel to,
Yeah.
we become consultants for the case.
Okay, gotcha.
And so, like I said, it's anything we do. Matter of fact, we travel as far west as Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and we also hit the East Coast. We have New Hampshire, Vermont, and we have New York.
Mm-hmm.
And say that's all. Okay, well, we go back to New York. My office set up there. We're right across the bridge from Vermont, and
Mm-hmm.
then not too far from there is New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And so we have cases we work on there, and then we go back to Indiana. That's where we originally started, was in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go back to Indiana, we join our Indiana staff, and we work on a lot of cases in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, Kentucky.
I wish, I don't know, I don't know if we've ever discussed the case we were working on diligently in Eros, Louisiana, the Jason Smith case. Did me and you ever talk about that case? I don't know if I ever talked to you about that case.
I don't know if we ever did that. The only one that really stood out to me was I think the kid was named White. That was
Victor
shot
White.
down.
Yeah, Victor White that
Yeah,
was shot handcuffed.
yeah,
And yeah. Now we have another case. Matter of fact, the young ladies, the young man who got was killed. Um, his sister is part of our one of my groups that I'm in. What happened with this case? His name was Robert Ricks. He has schizophrenia, and he was having an episode. In his At the time, he was staying with his grandmother, and his grandmother called the ambulance and told them, take him to the hospital. Well, the ambulance turned around and called the cops. So they turned around when they called the cops. They took him to I don't know how, Alexandria Police Department is what we have, what is the city that they live in. But the sheriff department came in. I don't know how the sheriff
yeah.
department got involved. So the sheriff department got involved, and there is a video on YouTube. Matter of fact, it's called the Robert Ricks. If you just pull that up, you'll see what happened in that one. You'll see the whole thing. Well, the young man, at the time he was a young man, that kicked him in the head, that is actually our now sheriff for our Rapides
Oh,
Parish. He's actually the sheriff. The guy, Robert wound up dead. Um, they're saying one person is telling the family that they tased him or he had something wrong. It's called dysphoria, something like that. They all cops say whenever a person die in their custody, it's called
right.
dysphoria or something like dysphoria. Well, that's not what happened, because they found, according to what Destiny, which is his sister, said, they found over 11 taser marks on him. And
Yeah,
in
I
the
think
vid,
I heard something, yeah, about that. Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah, a little
So
bit. Yeah,
so they were saying they were going another route on dealing with it, but we literally have the murderer. Okay, I want to call him what he is. He's our sheriff now, because at the time he was a deputy, so he's the sheriff
yeah,
now. Then after that, another young man wound up, quote unquote, shot by another deputy, one of his own deputies. And this young man was the brother. Listen to this. You know the Robert Greene case?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. He is the brother of the lieutenant. Let me see, is he a lieutenant? I think he's a lieutenant. The lieutenant that was investigating the deputies, the LSPs that were involved in the case. And we just thought he actually is an ex classmate of mine. We went to high school together. And
Yeah,
it's just so weird that his brother winds up dead and the deputy killed him. Yeah.
yeah,
Um so we have those type of things going on here. And having the right people in place to investigate is kind of hard in these small towns. You should you I know you've experienced being in with Leonville. Um it's kind of
yeah.
hard, because what we learned about the coroners are here, the coroners are put down whatever the cops tell them to put down. And I thought that was so, I thought they were supposed to have their own opinion when they
Yes,
examine the body, but that doesn't happen here.
yes. And then on one thing, St. Landry Parish Coroner, we know of several cases. He didn't go to the scene,
Yeah,
but yet he signed off on it.
yeah.
How do you not? How do you sign off on it with something you didn't even see?
You didn't even see it. You weren't even part of it. I know it.
Yeah,
And I mean, and I think we get so, you get so bogged down and pressured that you just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. You're dealing with the grief of the loved one you lost, and you're dealing with all this outside stuff, and all you want to know, all you want is the answers. And I think lots of times the people, the victims or the survivors, don't know who to go to, don't know who to talk to. How would they go about, you know, this, asking the right questions? You have to have that mindset to know what questions to ask also when you're trying.
exactly. What I've always said
Uh-huh.
on missing persons persons, unsolved murders, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the family has become investigators to get anything done.
Get anything done. Anything done.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Um, when we were working on the Jason Smith case, um, we found how did we find out? It was a YouTube video, a matter of fact. And me and my friend at the time, my late friend, he passed away. Brian Smith was his name. I mean Brian Coleman. Smith. I don't know where Smith comes from. Well, we were working on this case together, and we got a hold to the family, and we spoke with the father. Matter of fact, we were working very close with the father. And what happened was they said that he drowned. They said that he asked to go swimming or get in a boat and go on the lake. Well, come to find out, after speaking with the mother said he had a phobia of water simply because he saw his cousin drown. So he always had this phobia. She said he would get in the shower and he would quickly get out. He didn't like taking baths, so you wouldn't get him in the tub. So water was a thing for him, was a fear of his. So when the lie was told, or the story that was told, that he wanted to go swimming, that didn't sound right. And the idea that they found him in the lake in a private lake behind someone's house didn't sound right either. Somebody had to put it in there. So we get all the paper.
Oh, yeah.
You remember
You
that?
said they found him behind in a private lake.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I did see something about that.
Yes. And they didn't the that was in Eros, down near Gremlin, and what's the other place down there? And you know what I'm talking about. In it's a little small, tiny town, and it's separated by a railroad cross. I mean a railroad track. Um, so it's like, but it came out later on that the person who did it actually confessed. We had a conversation. Well, the father had a phone call from one of the young men who was with them that did it. They beat him up real bad and then threw him in the water. And the clothes that he had on when they found him wasn't even his clothes. Bruises all over. We have a picture of him. The bruises all over his face does not look like somebody who just drowned. Okay. They didn't go get him out of the water, or they didn't call the police until after 6 o'clock. This happened earlier in the day. The one of the boys that was involved, him and his father was the one who went down with the sheriff department to get him out the water. They knew he was there because they helped put him there. So the story got really convoluted, and it never, the person who literally did it, the people who really did it, never ever admitted. But the young man, Mr. Smith, got a phone call, and he had us on three-way. And come to find out, the youngest boy that was with them, his mom got on the phone, and she basically said who did it, and that her son did not kill that N. She literally called him the N word. And she didn't know we were on the phone, but the father heard it. The father was the one who got us, Mr. Bruce got us on the phone.
Yeah.
So nobody ever, ever, ever went to jail for it. I mean, it's if it's a murder, then it still can be investigated, and they can definitely be tried for it. But nothing ever happened with that case.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. On Marcus's case,
Mm-hmm.
we have concrete evidence, expert everything. Okay, we've jumped all through the hoops. We sent to the FBI. We sent it to the Attorney General. We sent it to the Department of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everything's always promising in the beginning.
Yeah.
But when you need to come up with answers, they hem-hum around, well, this person's going to do this, this person's going to do that. Well, that's not pushing anything along.
Exactly.
So same way, the Justice Department told me to contact the Louisiana Bureau of Investigations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I contacted them and find out they're in the same building with the Louisiana State Police. So what good is it to contact?
It doesn't make any sense, and I think that's why we have so many unsolved murders in the state of Louisiana. I believe that because a lot of them were connected to your police departments, your sheriff departments, your attorneys, your lawyer, your district attorneys. A lot of this is so interconnected that is crazy. And people are really afraid because they already, some of them already have a record, so they don't want to get involved in
Yeah.
anything. Oh, and they're eager to lie on the person, the victim, eager to say they were doing this and doing that. I don't know if you're familiar with the situation that happened with the young boy. I can't remember what part of Louisiana it was, but he was on one of those ATVs and they shot him on the ATV. One of the deputies shot her. Said he was trespassing, but he was on his own land when he was riding on it. Anyway, that never got. The Robert Greene case, majority of them got off, you know. So it's like, what the? You're like, what in the? What is this? Why isn't it? There's no justice. Why is it so? Why is it? Are they so afraid to not? I mean, to actually um convict somebody on some of these cases. I don't understand why
Yeah,
they're
well,
so afraid.
that same way with the prosecutor in St. Landry Parish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on his website, he has this promise to the people that elected him.
Yeah.
Okay, and it all has to do with justice, this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets upset with me because I sent him an email and I said, "Look, I'm holding you to your promise that's on your website."
Uh-huh.
Well, he got all bent out of shape about that. And I said, "I'm not the one who put it on there. You did."
But that makes him okay. So then that identifies his political. He's a politician. He's not about the people. He's a
Yeah,
politician. You know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like you can't win for losing. You know.
Oh, and then when we on Marcus case, when we went, see, I heard Chief Noel was a no good piece of shit and everything.
Yes.
Well, we went to interview him, and see, I'm trained in body language and all that.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm telling you what, my wife was with me, and this man was dumbfounded on what I was telling him.
Wow.
The city police didn't keep him in the loop.
Uh-huh.
Okay, another thing is, supposedly they had the gun, and supposedly they retrieved the bullet from Marcus's brain, but yet on the report, ballistics report, they say it's not a 100% match. So how does that come into play?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, see, all this evidence we have came from the Louisiana State Police. It's on their flash drive.
Oh
and, okay, like these chemicals, I guess they didn't follow up. See, we followed up what them chemicals were.
Uh-huh.
And after we found out what they were, we made sure that it wasn't caused by embalming fluid.
Exactly.
And, well, I guess they never done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I said, everything we got came from their flash drive, and they want to argue with us about it. I said, we're not the one that wrote these reports. Exactly. You did.
You did. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy. Now, you do know the story about the Leonville police chief, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So there was already history there. And the idea that it's a lot to that, but they're allowed to get away with a lot of things that doesn't make any sense. How are we allowing our law enforcement to not be held accountable when we are held accountable? You know, it's like it's only for us and not for them. The law is for us to not break, but they can break it and get away with it.
Okay, just like the Jason House case in St. Landry Parish. The investigator and the chief there.
Yeah.
The chief there is on administrative leave with pay because his girlfriend, who was on the police force, shot his wife, who was on the
Yes, I remember that. That's right.
And I'm going, are you kidding me? Yeah, and I'm going, and this is the kind of people we have to deal with.
Yeah. It's crazy. It is crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Now also let them know you have a YouTube channel too that you actually share a lot of your information on.
Yeah, well, it's our podcast channel. It's,
yes.
All you do is Google deep into the woods, and
Yes.
it'll pop up.
Yeah.
Or you can Google MJA Inc. Investigations, and it'll pop up. See, that's another thing about all this.
Mm-hmm.
We never thought that we'd become this large, but the reason we became so large is there was other families that seen our work,
Mm-hmm.
and they recommended us to other families that needed our help.
Yes.
And we never thought in a million years it'd be like it is today.
And so you, I don't know how I want to ask this. So how do you the families compensate, or we know this is not all on voluntary, what's the name, a voluntary platform. So does the family members donate to you guys, or are you?
No.
Okay.
It's all volunteer.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And see, like I say, there's 45 of us,
Mm-hmm.
and it costs us about $400 to $500 a year for each member to do our work.
Wow.
And now, if see, we don't have a nonprofit tax stamp, and we don't have a private investigator's license. So when we do get donations, but when we get donations, we have an agreement with the IRS. We take in donations and we donate it to some type of children's educational program.
Gotcha.
And just like down here where I'm at this RV park, they have what they call the Kids Club. Well, we got a donation, so every year at Christmas, our company donates that money, and they'll get it until December of 27th.
Oh wow.
And yeah, we don't take a dime. Everybody always says, well, how do you do it? And I said, hey, it's our own time and money. This is what we chose to do. And most of us are pretty well, off to where, see, a lot of people, they take these lavish vacations, they gamble and all that stuff. Well, see, a lot of our people, they don't do that. They'd rather, instead of taking a vacation, they'd rather pack up and go out in the woods on a search.
Yeah. They feel better doing the work. Yeah. People who don't do like research and like I said earlier, investigations. The only reason why I'm not a licensed investigator is because I never turned my stuff into the FBI so they could check my stuff, because I could do that work. I just haven't done it yet. I don't know. Well, because I know how it is. I have a friend of mine who's actually is a private investigator, and we have these things we do, and we get deep into it, and then we'll find this much, and then we'll stop, and then we'll start looking at another case. So we do it too. It's just to me, it's fun. I love to see what that answer is going to be. I wanted to get really like deep back into it again, but if people don't understand, that is a lot of work. Okay, that is a lot of time and a lot of work, and if you're not prepared to do that, don't get involved. And
well, see, just like me, there's some investigators and contacts I have. They make fun of me because before I go into a prison interview a killer, I have a psych eval, and they say, well, why do you do that? And I said, because I only got one shot at this.
Yeah.
So when I go in there, I want to make sure my brain is operating on all cylinders, and I know which way I'm going.
Exactly. You know exactly what to ask.
There you go. And they say, well, that's a odd approach. And I say, hey, it works.
So you're actually able to go and, wow, you're actually able to go and talk to inmates?
Oh yeah, Ohio.
Yeah.
We got like a gate pass there. We just call up the warden, whatever prison we want to go into. Tell them when we're going to be there, how we want it set up. Now, see, here's another thing about Ohio. And okay, when we go to interview, okay, we're in a conference room where you would talk to your lawyer.
Yes.
There's no guard inside or outside.
Wow.
And there's only video, no audio. And that's how we have it set up. And matter of fact, I used to have the Ohio Attorney General on speed dial. He's the one. It came to an Indiana case, which was Shannon Sherrill case on Penton. Well, he hooked us right up. He said, look, he says, this is what you're doing. He talked to the family and everything. And like I said, he gave us access, and like I said, I went there from 2006 to 2013 interviewing this informant for at least twice a year. I'd go.
Wow.
And I'd be there from 8:30 in the morning till 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's a lot of things. Yeah, Ohio's a very good state on letting us go in prisons. Indiana, we've been in a couple of their prisons. Usually when they find out we're legit or they talk, like say we have contacts to other law enforcement, we would say, hey, drop them a courtesy call. They'll tell you what we do, and so on and so on. So,
Wow. So, okay, so I want to ask, this is not only just for my listening audience, this is for me too. So, okay, so you get a case, right? What is the first thing that you usually do? I mean, you don't have to give away your ultimate secret, but what do you usually, what's the steps that you take to get started?
Okay, usually on a lot of cases, the family has a lot of information.
Okay.
Okay, here's what we also tell the families, that we're going to go where the evidence leads. Okay. And if that comes back to a family member, we cannot help that. See, so
I gotcha.
Once they understand that what it entails and how involved we get, that's just the way it is. So we'll start using. Well, first of all, when we take before we even take on a case, we do a profile. We have 3 profilers, and so we do a profile. And like I said, we'll give it to family and all that, and then we'll take all the information they have and we'll investigate it to the best of our ability. And then if nothing comes up in that realm, we'll, like I said, branch out and do our investigation from scratch, start from where it took place and so on and so on. And that's another thing. We're very detailed on going on locations and taking photos. We want to take the photos so we can actually see what we're looking at. And so everything is worked out, and like I said, it's just anything we can do to help. And okay, just like there's this one case in Indiana, I knew about a rescue mission in Denver, Colorado, back in the 70s. Now this was in the 70s. That if you was a criminal was on the run, you could go there and get shelter at a work program where you could work and get paid cash.
Wow.
Okay. Well, this one guy, the killer, he ended up being convicted of killing the girl. But anyway, the Indiana law enforcement let him run twice on him. Okay. The second time, and that's another thing. The first time, he was violated parole and everything. Well, they restated his parole, this, that, and the other. Well, 2 days before the grand jury was going to meet to indict him on the disappearance of his ex-wife, he takes off again. Okay? He's gone. He's gone for a while, and all of our leads and all law enforcement leads were drained dry. So out of the blue, I said, this is a damn long shot that I gave the information about this homeless shelter in Denver, Colorado, and I began. Well, first of all, I seen it was still in business. Okay, I turned over the information, and I began. All they did was change the policies. You had to use an ID. So when they went there, they gave the guy's name. Yeah, he was there. They took him in the custody. They extradited in Indiana. He got convicted. Got 95 years without her body.
Wow. Man.
And so that's what I'm saying. You learn things as you're being an investigator that you might never use, but hey, like this was a Hail Mary. I mean, I admit it was a Hail Mary.
You said, I'm going to try this last ditch effort. I'm going to find
it.
There you go. Wow.
Never thought that, a place would be around that long, still doing the same thing.
Still doing the same thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Lord have mercy. Yeah. So, man, so you guys stay very, very busy. So on average, how long do you stay on one case? Is there a particular time you stay on one case at you know what I'm saying?
No, no.
Okay.
When we take on a case, we're there until it's resolved.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
See, we don't want to see. That's the difference between us and private investigators is because private investigators, when the money's gone, they're gone,
Yes.
and so we've always made it a priority that money will never be an issue with us,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's like I said the way we worked it out,
Mm-hmm.
and plus my daughter, she's a lawyer, so she helped us along on
Yeah.
how we could do things, how we could set it up legally, and
Uh-huh.
then my other daughter, she set up her whole network. When you get an email from us, it'll say MJA underscore Inc. at hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Regina.
Yes.
Regina.
Yes.
That's my daughter's. Yeah, she set
Okay.
up a whole program,
Okay.
and yeah,
Wow.
so
Wow. So I want to thank you so much for this time. Very interesting cases. Just trying to, it's getting my blood flowing again. Want to get back into the investigation stuff because it was so fun when we did it.
okay.
So
I was going to tell you on
sure.
that Jason Cow's case there in St. Leonard Parish.
Uh-huh.
Um, I could have the mother available so you could actually interview her if you'd like.
Wow. Yes, we can definitely connect with that. Yes, definitely. Oh yeah. That
Okay.
would be wonderful.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
so tell us how we can contact you if someone else who's listening, how will we get your I mean, can you give us your information and so that
Yes.
just in case?
The phone number that's open 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care what time it is. It's 352
Mm-hmm.
410
Mm-hmm.
5253. Our email is all small case MJA underscore INC at hotmail.com. And then, like I said, uh, a lot of times you can just Google and get our information. We're on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You can get
Yes.
our information. Yeah, all of our stuff is public record.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I want to again thank you so much for this time. Um,
Hey, I appreciate it. I
this
really do
this
because
is wonderful.
I needed to get this information out, especially this reward we're going to be offering on that abduction case.
Yeah.
We really need to get that out there. So
Yes.
yeah, we appreciate it.
Yes. So, do you want to repeat that information again?
Yes,
Sure.
it's on the Elizabeth Ann Gill case. She was 34 months old when she was abducted in 1965 from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. The Gill family and MJA are pooling our resources, and we hope to have the list to the public a $50,000 reward that
Mm.
leads to her location.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
In 1965, you said?
Yes, like I said, we have very good evidence that she's still alive, and we even know the reason why she's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, it all fits. There's no question. They're the ones that done it, and see the people that actually done it. They're deceased,
Mm-hmm.
but gypsy clans they have a storyteller, and that's the history of their family clan. So the storyteller would know about who, what, when, and where.
Wow. Wow.
Uh,
Now that's
yeah.
exciting. And I hope you guys be able to find her, locate her. Um, let me see. She's the same age as my sister that passed away. Because she was born in 1965. So they're about the same age. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's exciting. All right, then. Thank you so much for your time. We really, really enjoyed the information that you shared, the stories that you shared, and the idea that look, we have some common bond here,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is so exciting in itself.
Yeah.
So definitely, if I would definitely want to talk with her, and so we'll get back together, and I can
Yeah. Yeah.
set up an interview with
Yeah.
her also. That would be wonderful. Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
Uh,
Thank you again. Have a
thank
great
you.
day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.
All right, you guys. That was MJ Inc. MJA Inc. Investigations. You guys. Like I said, we've known each other. With the Marcus Merritt Case is where I met him at. Um, and that was Miss Royce Eckley, which was his mom. And I heard the new developing information on that. So you guys, not only do I do that, I do this. I do a little bit of everything, and that was exciting for me because I love doing sleuth work. Okay, I love doing that. And it kind of gets me away from always having to be this, okay, you got to be stern, you got to do that. I have the opportunity to do that, and definitely going to get back in contact with him and get a chance to actually interview the mother. Matter of fact, we had an opportunity to, we interviewed Destiny Jones, who is Robert Rick's sister. And when you're talking to the victim's mom, I mean the parents or the family, the survivors. I don't want to say victims. Let me not use the word victim. That sounds so negative. I want to say survivors, the family, the parents, and anybody who's involved with that person who's no longer here. Um, Understanding that it takes a lot. It takes a lot to go through life trying to get questions answered, getting doors slammed in your face. It's like when he told me about the update on the Marcus Merritt case, where he's just still waiting for them to say, you know what, okay, we're going to go through with this. I know she had the body exhumed, the whole 9 yards. So you guys, you have all this information. Matter of fact, I actually have the whole case, just like I have the Jason Smith case. We also worked on another case where a stepmother abducted, abducted two kids, and now they're big, young, beautiful young people, young lady, and a brother and sister. The mom passed away, and from the information that was given to us through the work that we were doing, the stepmother forged the paperwork. Um, During the time the mom was very sick, and then when she passed away, she took the kids, and she was not supposed to. And the young lady, the young girl, the baby girl, was being molested by the stepmother's son or grandson. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, so all of that happened, and now they're in their teens now. It was wonderful when they found them. um, but yeah, that we used to do. I'm telling you guys, it's been such a wonderful. I sit back and let me tell you what you guys I suggest to you. I suggest that you sit back and look at your life. I made this thing up where I said December is the cleanup month. December is the end of the year um, on this calendar. But it's the end of the year, and this is the time we clean up. We reflect, go back, clean up some things, put some things in place, organize yourself. This is the time for that. Get rid of the things that don't work anymore. Okay, get rid of the people, and I'm not saying get rid of them like kill them or anything, but find another way of, everybody has a season and a reason to be in your life, right? So you pick that reason season. You have a right to pick that reason to season for them to be in your life. Move on. Um, it's just like it's a long journey to get to that next level that you want to get on. And sometimes people just cannot go with you. Okay? And it's not meant for them to go with you. If you're trying to move on and this person is with you and you notice how you're being dragged back, you notice how you keep getting dragged back, that means that it's time for you to let that person go. Okay? It's time for you to let them. If they're not growing with you, and you know you're growing, okay? You know you're growing. If they're not growing with you and you feel like an emptiness when you're around that person, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. I'm just saying. It's time to move. It's time for you to find where you need to be. And this is the time to clean out, clean up, speak out, speak up, and move on. I'm just, I'm literally saying that because that's how I'm seeing it now. So I call December the cleanup month. Yeah, December is the cleanup month. Way overdue. You've gone through a lot for the year. Um, You know, we've lost people, we've gained people, changes happen. Now it's time to look and say, okay, all of this has taken place. How am I going to end this year? And already start thinking about next year. Already start thinking. Some people start earlier than just December. Some people start in the middle. Like after the first 6 months, they're already thinking about what they need to do for the next 6, 7, 8 months. And we can do that. But this is a month that we clean up. We make a difference. We talk. We say, okay, what we're not going to do, and how do we make all those things happen? We got to be able to make all those things happen. We got to be able to look at how our life is being um, projected to us. Well, what is our perspective of how we want our life to be? Now, if you have an opportunity, and I think I wanted to tell you guys about this before, um, I found this on the TikTok shop, not Amazon this time, on the TikTok shop, and it is a journal for limitless. It's a limitless edition, a neuroscience-based journaling. Your key to unlocking limitless potential. Okay, great book. And in this book, it gives you affirmations. I don't know if you can see that. Oops, it won't let me show it to you. I think the brightness of my my light. Well, yeah, I see. Um, this book is very good. You journal in it. You have it's like what actions you're gonna take um today, and then you write. It's called 369. So you write the first month that morning. You write whatever that affirmation is that morning, and then the afternoon, and then the evening time. You write the rest of them. You write 369, and I love this book. Um, and I'm going to share with you my planner too. What I'll probably have to do is I'm gonna have to put it on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is a good book. And another book, I don't know if you've heard of shadow work, which is very interesting. I guess we'll talk about that too. So this is another journal that I'm actually working out at the same time I'm working on this one. So I'm doing both of them. And I had started them a long time ago and didn't finish them, but now I have an opportunity to go back. And we'll talk about that because I think that's something. We got this end of the year coming up. And I didn't really do a planner. I didn't buy a real planner. But what I did was I created one. I think we talked about this. I created my own planner, as you can see. You can see all that. I created my own planner, and I'm in December, and I think I started this one late. Did I? Yes, I started this one. Oh, in June. So I'm almost finished because I'm in December. Okay. Um, I'm in December. Can you see that? Yeah. So this is December, and I'm almost finished. And let me tell you something else, and I know I probably already talked to you guys about it. I got stickers. I got to turn one of my pages into a vision page. But I ordered these stickers off of TikTok. I have some more stickers. I have this big pail full of stickers because I love stickers. Okay, I think we talked about that when I first started the show. Well, we're gonna do some of that. I'm gonna set some of that up. Um, where we're going to be able to work on some. I'm going to show you some things I'm going to write and stuff. We're going to do all that because, hey, we got all this time. Might as well use it. Um, so I definitely want to share that with you. Oh, let me share something else before we go. I don't know if you guys are Nikki Giovanni, um, great poet, beautiful woman, beautiful black woman. She passed away yesterday, matter of fact. Um, she was a very nice lady. Very historical. And I think I'll get some more information on her when we come back. Because I think it's very, wait, you know what? Let me do that now. Let me do that now. Because I think it's very, we need to kind of hit on that just a little bit before we go. Let's see here. she goes. Yeah. Um, let's check her out. Yeah. Here we go. So let's share this screen with you guys. Um, there we go. So yeah, this was Nikki Giovanni. Let me see if it'll let me do it. It probably won't let me do it. Um, okay. They won't let me do it. Okay, I got you. Give me a second here. Let's see. Um, let's see. Let's see if they'll let me share right here. Yeah, here we go. She passed away at 81. Um, let's see if you guys can see that. Yeah. Okay. So this is her. Nikki Giovanni, poet and literary celebrity, has died at 81 years old. I was watching a little clip of her earlier, and she made this comment that really, really touched me. She said they asked her, "How is she?" Um, and I think she basically said, "I'm okay." It's like she said it in a way like, there's nothing I want more. I'm good. And I thought that was very, like, the way she said it was so sweet. Like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm good. I don't there's not much I want. I'm not asking for anything. I got it. So it says here, Nikki Giovanni, the poet, author, educator, and public speaker who went from borrowing money to release her first book to spending decades as a literary celebrity who shared blunt and conversational takes on everything from racism and love to space travel and mortality. She has died. Excuse me, has died. She was 81. Giovanni, subject of the prize-winning 2013 documentary "Going to Mars," died Monday with her lifelong partner Virginia Fowler by her side, according to a statement from friend and author Renee Watson. "We will forever feel blessed to have shared a legacy and love with our dear cousin," said Allison Reagan, Giovanni's cousin, in a statement on behalf of the family. The author of the more than 25 books, Giovanni was born confessor and performer whom fans came to know well from her work readings and other live appearances in her years on the faculty at Virginia Tech, among other schools. Poetry collections such as Black Judgment and Black Feeling, Black Talk sold thousands of copies, led to the invitations from The Tonight Show and other television programs, and made her popular enough to fill a 3,000-seat concert hall at Lincoln Center for a celebration of her 30th birthday. Wow. In poetry, prose, and the spoken word, she told her story. She looked back on her childhood in Tennessee and Ohio, championed the Black Power movement, addressed her battles with lung cancer, paid tribute to heroes from Nina Simone to Angela Davis, and reflected on such personal passions as food, romance, family, and rocketing into space. A journey she believed Black women uniquely qualified for, if only because of how much they had already survived. She also edited a groundworking anthology of Black women poets, Night Comes Softly, and helped found a publishing cooperative that promoted works of Gwendolyn Brooks and Margaret Walker, among others. For a time, she was called the Princess of Black Poetry. All I know is that she was the most cowardly, bravest, least understanding, most sensitive, slowest to anger, and most quixotic, lioness, 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 most honest woman I know, her friend Barbara Crosby wrote in an introduction to The Prosaic Soul of Nikki Giovanni, an anthology of nonfiction prose published in 2003. To live her is to love contradiction and conflict. To know her is to never understand. but to be sure of that life is. Giovanni's admirers range from James Baldwin to Tina Marie, who named checked her on the dance hit Square Biz, to Oprah Winfrey, who invited the poet to her Living Legends Summit in 2005, when other guests of honor included Rosa Parks and Toni Morrison. Giovanni was a National Book Award finalist in 1973 for a prose work about her life, Gemini. She also received a Grammy nomination for the spoken word about the Nikki Giovanni Poetry Collection. Um, in January 2009, at the request of NPR, she wrote a poem about incoming President Barack Obama. I'll walk the streets and knock on the doors, share with the folks, not my dreams but yours. I'll talk with the people, I'll listen and learn, I'll make the butter, then clean the churn. Giovanni had a son, Thomas Watson Giovanni, in 1969. She never married the father because she told Ebony magazine I didn't want to get married and I could afford not to get married. Over the latter part of her life, she lived with her partner, Fowler, a fellow faculty member at Virginia Tech. She was born Yolanda Cornelius Giovanni Jr. in Knoxville, Tennessee, um, and was soon called Nikki by her older sister. She was four when when her family moved to Ohio and eventually settled in the black community of Lincoln Heights outside of Cincinnati. She would travel often between Tennessee and Ohio, bound to her parents and to her maternal grandparents in her spiritual home in Knoxville. I'm not going to read no more of it. This is a lot about her, but I just want to go ahead and share that information with you guys. Um, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let me stop that right there. Okay, there we go. All right. So, you guys, I wanted to share that with you because I think we should always take time out to recognize all the women before us who did all the work to get us where we're at here now. So, I'm definitely going to start sharing more of those with you guys. I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hoping you're using this information that I'm sharing with you guys here on the Empower Her Talk Show. Looking forward to many, many shows with you guys. And I want you guys to have a great, great evening. And thank you. And bye bye. All right.